Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Now, in today's video, guys, I'm going to be doing a review for Beast, the movie featuring Idris Elba, the Man Against the Lion movie. First, I've been trying to cut down on the announcements lately, of course, but this isn't really a general announcement. This is something new. As you can see, there is a new setup for this channel. I moved the PC to the opposite side of the room so I could fit in my PS4 and everything like that right over there. So hopefully that'll make streaming a lot easier. I know I haven't been streaming very often, but I would like to have more of a consistent schedule with streaming, so if I do decide to get back to streaming, hopefully it'll be a lot more consistent and easier and everything like that. So we'll see about that, but I've been a bit busy lately. That's why I haven't uploaded in over a week. I've been obviously reorganizing, focusing on reorganizing this room. I've been working quite a bit before school starts back up, and then when school starts back up, I won't be working as often as I did, of course. And then, as you can see back there in the corner, I also got a golf set as well. Trying to get into that as well. Still got a few more pieces of equipment to do there, or to get before I start playing golf and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I've been a bit busy. I did upload a video on the RS Political channel in between my past video and this video. So I guess I wasn't leaving you guys completely blank on videos and everything like that. But one more thing I do want to announce, and I know, again, I usually don't like to announce a whole bunch of stuff on my channel anymore, but I did finally get an official date for my surgery. It is going to be next month in September, and as it gets closer, I will tell you what I'm going to do for videos then. It's not going to be as bad as I initially thought it was going to be. I'll learn more as I get closer and closer. But, yeah, I'll try to see what I can do with videos. It'll probably just be, a maximum of 2 weeks of not doing the normal videos or not having a normal schedule and stuff like that. So don't worry about it too much. But as I get closer, I'll give you guys more details and everything like that. But that's pretty much it. Let's get on to this review. So for those of you who are, curious about what this movie is about, if you've watched the trailer, this movie pretty much does exactly what you would expect it to do. It's just a father who is taking his two daughters to a trip, on a trip to Africa, and you have the side character, the tour guide, and everything like that, who's very, very good with animals, particularly lions in this movie. He's almost like a lion tamer in this movie, almost. And he notices something strange about the lions. He's like, finds some wounds on them, wounds on the lions that almost look like bite marks and everything like that, which he finds unusual. He doesn't think that, the lions would be fighting each other around this season or whatever. Basically, he notices something strange about the lions, and so they end up having to fight against this this enraged lion in the movie and everything like that. And this movie does exactly what you would expect. It shows Idris Elba fighting a lion throughout the movie. It's more in the final act, but in the first two, in the second act, I should say, it's pretty much a thriller. They're trying to hide from the lion and everything like that, and get away from him. You have all these tense scenes and everything like that. The movie does exactly what you would expect. All you really need to see to learn about this movie is the trailer, and you will basically know what's going to happen, what you're going to see, and everything like that. I don't think I really need to go on a long explanation about what this movie is about. It has a pretty simple plot, pretty straightforward. It's also a very, very quick movie, only an hour and a half long. So there's not really a lot to talk about it as far as positives and negatives either. So as far as the positives go, I really just like how this movie just delivers what you would expect it to deliver. It's a quick hour and a half horror flick, and it does all the things you would expect it to do. By the final act, you have Idris Elba just full-on fist fighting the lion and everything like that, and it's really, really cool. The CGI does not, it doesn't stick out to me or anything like that. I was paying attention to it when the fight scene was happening, and it didn't really bother me at all. So the fight scene overall was really, really cool. And then in the second half, in the second act, where you had, kind of the tense scenes where they're trying to hide from the lion and not necessarily fight from it, the scenes are very, very tense. There's a lot of good jump scares. They're not like, super obvious or anything like that. There were a few times where I was about to fall asleep in the movie, and that's not because the movie was boring or anything. This movie keeps you on your toes the entire time. But I think I was a little bit tired that day. But there were a few times where I was about to fall asleep, and then a jump scare happens, and I was like, "Oh, I better get back to the movie," because those jump scares definitely got me. So, yeah, the second act was good. The scenes were very very tense and everything like that. The exposition in the first act was really quick. It gives you just the bare minimum amount of characterization and explanation that you need to understand what is going on. You don't have a lot of characters in this movie, which I really, really do like. This is something that I don't think a lot of other people in their reviews have talked about. Most of the other points I'm bringing up in this video, many other people have discussed in their reviews for this movie. But one of the things I liked about this movie is it felt small scale, for two reasons. One, because there wasn't a lot of characters. You know, you just had basically four main characters. You had the tour guide, you had the two daughters, and then you had Idris Elba as the father of the two daughters. And you had really only one other character that was in the movie for a short amount of time. He was like helping out the tour guide and everything like that. I forget who the actor was for the tour guide in this movie. I think it's like Charlotte Ropley or something like that. I forget what his name is. But he did a really good job in this movie. But what I really like about this movie is it feels small scale. It's really, really quick. It almost feels like a short film, like a low budget short film. But it's not necessarily low budget. You know, the scenes are really, really great and everything like that. And the thing that really makes it feel like that is the long shots in this movie. The really, really long shots where it's kind of putting you into spectator mode, where it feels like you're with them in this scene and you're watching them as this scene plays out. Like, there are really long shots in this movie that were really exaggerated and easy to notice, and it's easy to tell why the director chose to do these shots. He wants it to make it seem as if you are with them, perceiving the events that are going on. You know, you could be it could be you with them under the car while they're trying to hide from the lion, and it really, really helps with those jump scares and everything like that. So I really, really like the long shots, the fact that there's not a whole lot of characters, and I wouldn't really consider, you know, some of the people that were in the tribes that got killed really characters. They were just kind of shown dead on screen and everything like that, so I wouldn't really consider them characters. But you really only had four characters in this movie, and this movie, I really liked just the small scale feeling with the long shots that were really, really nice. I think that's pretty much all I have to say as far as the positives go. I feel like I'm missing something, but I think that's pretty much it. So, getting on to the couple of negatives, and these negatives are just pretty obvious. They're not exclusive to this movie, but they pretty much are a reality for a lot of horror thrillers where, of course, the characters are going to make dumb mistakes. They're going to do dumb cliche things where, you know, they tell a character to stay here while they go off, and then the character ends up going somewhere while they leave, and then the characters end up splitting up and dying off one by one. Which isn't really exactly what happened in this movie, but there were a lot of times where the tour guide was telling the two daughters to stay there, and then they didn't follow his orders, and it started to get frustrating and everything like that. Or, there's the cliche of, the character saying, I'm gonna leave and I'll be right back, and then they, end up dying off, like, I'm gonna go check it out to see what's going on, and then they end up getting, killed or whatever. So, there's those expected cliches in this movie. I saw that this movie was in an hour and a half, so or an hour and a half long, so I pretty much expected it. Additionally, a lot of the characters had plot armor, which kind of took away from some of the, the suspense and the, how do you want to say it, the feeling that, the characters are in danger and everything like that, because the first time that the characters one of the characters got injured, which I believe was the tour guide, when he got injured for the first time, it was a really, tense scene. They're trying to, provide medical attention to this tour guide and everything like that, and it's a pretty tense scene. It looks like he's in much pain, but then eventually every character gets injured throughout the movie, and then at that point, like, it just, you know that they're gonna be fine, they're not gonna die and everything like that. So, like, I don't know. There are a lot of times where they repeat the same thing over and over again, and then you kind of lose some of that suspense and feeling like our feeling of the characters being in danger and everything like that. And that has to do with some of the characters feeling like they have plot armor. Like, I believe between the tour guide and Idris Elba, they got injured quite a few times in this movie from the lion and everything like that, and they kind of just shook it off, a few minutes after. Same with the lion as well. Like the lion had some massive plot armor as well, but and that took away from some of like the jump scares as well, like where you're like, yeah, the lion's gonna be back, before you know it, and kind of took away from some of those jump scares and everything like that. But pretty much all the negatives that I have to say about this movie are to be expected in a movie like this that's a horror thriller that's really, really quick and everything like that. So it's nothing exclusive to this movie, and I don't think it really brings this movie down significantly. So overall, what would I give a rating for this movie? Unfortunately, I've been having quite a bit of trouble trying to log into Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know what happened with Rotten Tomatoes. I've been trying to log into my account that had all my ratings on it and everything like that, so I haven't been able to rate this movie on Rotten Tomatoes yet. But if I had to rate this movie, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. I don't want to give it a 7 out of 10. I don't want to make it seem like this movie is pretty good or really good or great. But I think it's a pretty average, like a slightly above average horror quick flick. I really did enjoy it. And I don't think that, there's just not really much to say. It's pretty straightforward, just a quick horror flick. Delivers exactly what you expected. And I honestly did enjoy seeing it on the big screen. For those of you who want to know, like, if you should see it on the big screen or not, I'd leave that up to you. You could see it at home and it'd probably get the same experience, but I did enjoy seeing it on the big screen. Everybody else in the theater jumping at the same time I did and everything like that, and making the jump scares that much more effective and everything like that. So, I would leave that up to you there, but this movie pretty much just does exactly what you would expect it to do. Is a quick, enjoyable thriller, keeps you on your toes the whole time. So not much else to say. Other than that, guys, stay tuned for the future content. I'm probably going to continue with the horror slasher killer matchups. I know I said I was going to finish those off. Once I find a time to do all 3 of them in one day, I will announce when those are going to be coming out on the community post. So stay tuned for those. I know I'm really, really trying to finish those off. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Other than that, like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you next time.